Give a little monster such a high IQ. Giving high IQ often has deep meaning. Killing it might lead to unexpected gains. He quickly waved the Abyss Dweller entwined with black mist in his hand. In an instant, 9 black mists burst out and flew away. Risky Goblin, who was suspended in midair, was unexpectedly struck by 9 Abyss Dwellers. However, Risky Goblin was not instantly killed. Its speed soared once again. Quickly move away from the attack range of Abyss Dweller. With a swoosh sound, Risky Goblin disappeared into the air. It can no longer be seen. The system also prompts that Aki's Metal has escaped. Fengshe saw this name. At first, it sounded familiar. Then she suddenly remembered something about it. Aki's Metal is a famous grandmaster of engineering in the realm. 3 years later, Aki's Metal produced the Sky Fortress Twin Serpent's Ring, which shook the nations and established the Goblin Empire, opening up the realm. In the famous DLC Rise of the New World at that time, countless Super Guide campaigns Sky Fortress Twin Serpent's Ring results in complete annihilation. And all of this was caused by Aki's Metal. Such a great figure appeared before him. However, he was completely unaware and almost prematurely took down the future version of the boss. Drowsy Sloth on the side searched through the robot for a moment before saying, "Captain, there is a box here." Fengshe immediately opened the box after taking it. Inside, there was a key and a treasure map. He couldn't help but be secretly excited. Although he didn't defeat the boss, getting these items was still a great gain. Fengshe put away the metal box and quickly made arrangements. "You guys stay here to level up by fighting monsters. I have something important to attend to. Let me know when all of you have reached level 4, Feng said. Kuriko hurriedly asked, "What about you, Feng?" Excitedly playing with the newly opened key, Fengshe smiled and said, "I'm going to get a big treasure first. I'll find you guys later." 900 years ago, the alchemy grandmaster Melodo put in a lot of effort to create something. Due to this item, it triggered wars among many great nations in the realm, with over a dozen heroes vying for it. However, the whereabouts of this item became unknown, becoming an unsolved mystery in the realm. This item is the Philosopher's Stone, a holy relic in alchemy. If an alchemist were to obtain the Philosopher's Stone, they would have the ability to turn anything into gold, amassing infinite wealth, and even be able to resurrect the dead. It could perfectly break the principle of equivalent exchange in alchemy. And in Fengshe's hands is a treasure map that happens to record the location of this item. Who would have thought that this holy relic would be hidden in the inconspicuous Redwater Lake? However, the threat of Redwater Lake is very dangerous for Fengshe. After all, there is a difference in levels of level 8, and the level 8 suppression is significant. Fengshe is no match for a level 10 monster. But Fengshe has to take risks. If he can get hold of the Philosopher's Stone earlier, he will be able to relax sooner. Just as he wandered towards the location of the treasure, a huge octopus monster suddenly appeared behind him. Fengshe unexpectedly obtained a treasure map of the epic level treasure, Philosopher's Stone. He had to take the risk of entering the level 10 area with his level 2 abilities. Search for treasure in Redwater Lake. Just got into the water not long ago. A huge octopus monster suddenly appeared behind him. He didn't hesitate at all. He quickly used gravity release to escape. Even though Shi Feng can't win in a fight, his running speed is very fast. Most monsters can't catch up. Soon, Fengshe arrived near the location marked on the treasure map. However, there are several level 10 siren guards patrolling at the cave entrance. Seems like they are guarding something. Fengshe dares not fight desperately. He decisively uses illusionary strike to let the clone swim over to lure the siren guard. As planned, a group of siren guards spotted the clone. They all rushed towards the clone. Fengshe quickly controlled the clone to turn around and swim upstream. Fengshe quickly swam over, watching as the clone led the siren guards away from the entrance. Go deeper into the cave. Fengshe then discovered a statue standing in the cave, engraved with a huge stone door with a sun pattern. He didn't dare to waste time, and quickly took out the key from his backpack. He then quickly inserted the key into the door lock. In the blink of an eye, the huge stone door slowly began to open, emitting bursts of dazzling light. Feng Shi quickly approached to take a look, only to find a teleportation circle resembling the entrance to a dungeon. He couldn't wait to enter the teleportation portal. The scene he saw immediately shocked him. At the same time, a system prompt sounded. The player found that the entire hall of the Solar Temple was the size of a soccer field. Although it looked a bit rundown, there were many paintings and inscriptions on both sides. Inside the temple, there was an altar with a golden chest placed on it. On both sides of the chest, there stood two huge statues holding big swords. When Feng Shi approached the altar, he clearly felt a chill. The chill comes from the large stone statues on both sides. I don't know what consequences there will be from removing the Philosopher's Stone. He can't afford to think too much now. He hurriedly walked towards the golden altar. His goal is the golden chest in front of the Philosopher's Stone. The Philosopher's Stone should be inside. He has no choice now. The entrance has been blocked. We need to grab the Philosopher's Stone first before figuring out the next steps. As the golden treasure chest opened, suddenly, a golden light burst forth from the treasure chest, illuminating the entire temple. Then the golden light gradually disappeared. Feng Shi's face immediately turned ugly. He looked at the thumb-sized blood-red stone in his hand. He felt extremely regretful. Damn it! How did the Philosopher's Stone turn into this? The Philosopher's Stone is a damaged item. Epic-level special items will drop after death. Alchemy Holy Relic can transmute stone into gold. It has many incredible uses, like resurrecting the dead. However, it was destroyed by Sword Emperor Sunit, shattered into 5 pieces. But the Philosopher's Stone possesses great power. It can restore all its power. With its current power at less than a tenth, it can only perform alchemy transformation and element refinement. Although the effect has been greatly reduced, Feng Shi is still satisfied. Having these two functions is enough to allow him to accomplish many things. However, just at this moment, there was a sudden abnormality in the Solar Temple. The giant statues standing on both sides suddenly began to shake. The statues suddenly started to emit terrifying roars. Their tightly closed eyes suddenly opened, locking onto Feng Shi in an instant. Feng Shi felt a disturbance, and quickly turned his head to look. He saw 2 enormous terrifying stone statues that had already picked up weapons, ready to tear him apart. He broke out in a cold sweat at the sight. Level 100 boss is currently unbeatable. Plus, the Philosopher's Stone drops upon death. This disgusting design is extremely absurd. Suddenly Feng Shi discovered a skeleton not far away, and holding a scroll in hand. He has 10 years of experience. Recognized at a glance that it is a teleport scroll. He didn't dare to delay in the slightest. Quickly used gravity release to dodge the statue's attack. At the same time, quickly rushed towards the scroll direction. The next moment, after swiftly arriving by the skeleton's side, he immediately grabbed the teleport scroll on the ground. Immediately after, he immediately opened the magic teleport scroll in his hand. A purple magic rune instantly enveloped him. Feng Shi quickly stated the destination: Maple Leaf Town. Although the scroll can teleport players to designated cities, the casting time takes a full 3 seconds. However, just at that moment, a giant statue suddenly opened its massive mouth, quickly brewing a terrifying energy ball. The next second, the energy ball suddenly sprays towards Feng Shi's position. With a loud roar, the energy ball shot out from the statue is already coming straight at you. Feng Shi saw this and immediately broke out in a cold sweat. He could clearly feel the temperature rising rapidly around him. Just as he was about to meet his demise, he suddenly disappeared in the temple with a loud sound. The teleportation was completed. At the same time, the energy ball also struck Feng Shi's location, causing the entire temple to shake violently. The violent energy then exploded instantly. The entire temple was destroyed in an instant. At the same time, the kidnapped siren guard also felt the fluctuations coming from the temple. The sirens have begun to spread news of the stolen treasures. Humans are also about to face the revenge of the ocean sirens. At this moment, inside Maple Leaf Town Fountain Square, many players come here to rest after a hard day of battle. All of the players in Maple Leaf Town suddenly received a system message. Players triggered a special storyline, opening the Murloc Uprising campaign quest in Maple Leaf Town. Players can go to the Adventurer's Guide to receive the campaign quest. Completing the quest can earn players rich rewards and guide honor. Fengshe is risking being killed and sent back to the city. Finally obtained the epic level item Shattered Philosopher's Stone. At the same time, the entire Murloc tribe lost their treasure and fell into a state of rage. The entire Maple Leaf Town players. Therefore, the campaign quest for Murloc Uprising is activated. All the players were excited suddenly. In the Maple Leaf Town, where quests are scarce, a campaign quest has appeared, and the rewards are so rich that it's unimaginable. At the same time, Luna Zhao was also very surprised when she saw the system prompt. Who exactly is she? The progress of the quest is moving so quickly. Murlocs all inhabit Redwater Lake, which is a level 10 monster area. Snowbite is very calm. No need to guess. It must be Darkblade. It seems that Darkblade not only completed the quest, but also successfully escaped from the level 10 area unharmed. Luna Zhao has to reevaluate Darkblade's strength. She secretly made up her mind. Next time they meet, she must figure out his background. And the main culprit behind the campaign quest is Fengshe. He is currently recalling the recent experience in Maple Leaf Town. The level of excitement just now was so thrilling that even he, who has been reborn, couldn't help but feel palpitations. If he was a second late, he wouldn't have made it back. He soon arrived at the auction house in the town. The auction house is a very convenient place where players can put up items for sale. It's not just visible throughout Maple Leaf Town, but also can be seen by hundreds of small towns and cities under the jurisdiction of White River Castle for purchase. However, the auction house charges a 5% commission fee. So the prices of things listed there are generally on the high side, and they are hard to sell. Fengshe is preparing to clean up the drops from Dead Silence Forest. Immediately, he put up a Mystic Iron Grade plate equipment. Starting price is 25 silver. In addition, there are 5 pieces of Bronze Grade equipment. The plate has a starting price of 3 silver, while the others have a starting price of 2 silver each. These equipment are things that the team does not need. The surrounding players immediately became excited. Bronze equipment is scarce. Suddenly so many appeared at once, immediately caused everyone to be stunned. Fengshe suddenly remembered the Philosopher's Stone that he had just obtained. The Philosopher's Stone has the ability of element refinement. In other words, it can refine stones. There is a high chance of obtaining ores. Once he sells out his equipment, he starts searching for stones. Right now, there is no need for him to personally farm or stones because they are really cheap. All the players in Maple Leaf Town have become his employees. Fengshe had already accumulated a considerable amount of wealth. With his deep pockets, he directly swept through all the cheap stones on the auction house. Many players who had listed stones for sale received notifications that their stones had been sold. Players were shocked to see their listed magical essence and stones being sold. Some players also discovered business opportunities. Quickly notified teammates to hurry up and farm these 2 materials. This is a rare opportunity. At once, players inside the auction house all looked around. Speculations arose about which mysterious boss it could be. They must be really wealthy. Meanwhile, the auctioneer Fengshe, who cleared the goods, has already left the auction house. Next is the time for the Philosopher's Stone to show its power. Left the commercial street. Fengshe came to the Forging Association. Spent 5 copper to rent a normal forging room. Used it for an hour. In the ordinary forging room, all forging tools are available, so there's no need to buy them. However, it's quite plain. Although the equipment is complete, they are all ordinary items without any additional bonuses. But for a price of 5 copper, one cannot expect too much. After all, you get what you pay for. He stopped thinking about it, and took out the bright red philosopher's stone from his backpack. He immediately used the element refinement function. Refine can extract the metal elements in the stone to turn ordinary stone into various types of metal ore. After placing the philosopher's stone on top, the success rate of refinement suddenly increased to 20%. Feng Shi directly chose to activate refine, and a mysterious power flowed into the stone. The refined interface immediately started shining with light and began to progress. Feng Shi couldn't help but feel a little nervous. A 20% chance really isn't very high. The entire philosopher's stone emits a faint red glow. The stone with the 2 small fist size directly turns into sand, scattered all over the floor. Nothing was gained. Feng Shi didn't care at all. He directly took out a set of stones and piled them on the stone table. Then he started to refine. Some stones do not have metal elements. Naturally, they turned into a pile of sand. Failure is just too normal. Back-to-back failures make Feng Shi doubt if he is unlucky. However, stone is worthless. He picks up another piece to refine. One after another, a set of stones is quickly depleted. Feng Shi felt a little depressed after failing to extract ore for 10 consecutive times. The success rate seemed slightly low. Could it be because the philosopher's stone is just a fragment, which results in a low success rate? Just then, he suddenly discovered a metallic block with a copper-colored luster in the pile of broken sand. He quickly took it out and had a look. This was indeed a piece of copper Oregon. After failing around 10 times, he finally succeeded once. Feng Shi breathed a sigh of relief with the first piece of copper ore. Speed up the refinement process of stone. He quickly turned all the stones he purchased into a pile of sand. Feng Shi also noticed. The work of alchemy is quite exhausting. This hard work paid off. A total of 470 pieces of copper ore and 130 pieces of bronze ore were extracted. If these materials are sold, they are worth over 20 silver, but the cost is only 4 silver, which is more than 5 times the difference in price. It's simply a huge profit. Suddenly, there were waves of alert sounds coming from the room. Clearly, the 1-hour usage time is almost up. Feng Shi felt a little depressed after leaving the forge. It took 1 hour to refine the stone of light. Haven't even had the chance to start forging yet. And all his savings were used to purchase stone and magical essence, and now he can't even come up with 1 copper. However, just at this moment, he suddenly received a system message. Silver armor has been sold. Deducting the service fee, he received 31 silver and 53 copper. Dark Star boots have been sold. Deducting the service fee, he received 3 silver and 21 copper. A series of auction house message prompts made Feng Shi smile slightly. He was very satisfied with the selling prices. He didn't expect a mystic iron-grade plate worn by a defensive warrior to be sold for over 30 silver. The wealthy people in the White River Castle region indeed have a lot of money. After becoming rich, Feng Shi directly spent 2 silver to rent a top-tier forging room and prepared to start crafting equipment. Inside the intermediate forging room, the entire room is larger and more exquisite. The equipment is also better than that in an ordinary forging room, especially the hammers and flames used for forging. Both of these items are not simple. The bronze level 100-fold hammer increases the success rate by 3% when forging items. First rank exotic fire Crimson Demon Fire has an extremely high temperature. It can make the melting process more pure. Increases success rate by 2% when refining potions and forging items. The intermediate forging room can increase success rate by a total of 5%. The Book of Forging increases success rate by 50% when forging bronze-grade equipment. Afterwards, Feng Shi no longer wasted time. He took out the design for the Defender's Plate and chose to study it. By doing so, the success rate for apprentice forging can be increased by 5%. When all factors are considered, the success rate for creating the Defender's Plate reaches 60%. He has the Philosopher's Stone and is not lacking resources. And the materials for the Defender's Plate are very inexpensive. Only need 5 magical essence, 5 pieces of bronze ore, and 20 pieces of copper ore. He immediately picked up the hammer and began his forging journey. This man's combat ability is at its peak. He unexpectedly put down the long sword and chose to pick up the iron hammer, just because he couldn't even find a single copper in his pocket. Feng Shi first put copper ore and bronze ore into the fire for smelting, then added magical essence to the ashes after calcination. He then took out the glowing red ore and placed it on the iron pad. He dared not be careless, because the next step is crucial. After making the preparations, Feng Shi picked up the 100-fold hammer, ready to strike the hot ore. The clanging sound kept echoing, and sparks flew everywhere. The sound of hammering reverberated throughout the spacious forge. He was very careful with each strike. After hundreds of strikes, the ore suddenly emitted a dazzling light. At the same time, a system prompt sounded. Successfully forged Defender's Plate. Increase forging proficiency by 2 points. Gain 800 XP. As the light fades away, a set of silver gray armor appears. Defender's Plate power. Grade bronze plate. Equipment requirement, 10 strength. Item level 3. Defense power plus 22, strength plus 2, stamina plus 3, HP plus 150. Comes with the ability, reduces damage taken by 3%. Limited to the shield warrior profession. Protection paladin. Looking at the accompanying defensive power ability, Feng Shi was very happy. I didn't expect to succeed in forging bronze equipment for the first time. The XP gained is also high. Moreover, this Defender's Plate not only meets the standard basic attribute data, but also comes with additional abilities. This equipment will definitely be sought after by major guides. With the experience of the first successful forging, Feng Shi's motivation instantly reached its peak. Starting to forge Defender's Plates frantically, with a 60% success rate is still very high. The failures are relatively few. Busy time passes quickly. 2 hours flew by in the blink of an eye. Feng Shi received a total of 23 Defender's Plates, but 4 of them failed. At the same time, Feng Shi's level has also increased to level 3, not too far behind those skilled players. And the forging proficiency has reached 44 points. Next is to go to the auction house and start selling goods passionately. Soon, there were bursts of exclamations in the auction house. Defender's Plate Feng Shi was priced at a base price of 4 silver. A small amount of them were put up for sale to test the waters. The little gaggas were dazzled by such powerful armor. Not only does it have strong attributes, but it also comes with additional abilities. It is simply a god-tier equipment for tanks. Feng Shi saw the personnel of various guides moving around in the auction house, and couldn't help but secretly rejoice. Currently, only he can craft the Defender's Plate, so as long as he sells 1 piece, he can make a minimum profit of 4 silver. Soon after, Feng Shi heard a series of system notifications from the auction house. The value of the Defender's Plate completely exceeded Feng Shi's expectations. He had thought that 5 silver would be a fair price. However, the bidding price kept rising, reaching a high of 8 silver and a minimum selling price of 5 silver. Currently, the purchasing power of silver is quite astonishing. Even a second-rate guide with all his liquid assets, around 60 to 70 silver, hurriedly continued to list the Defender's Plate on the auction house. After that, he began searching for skill books. In the realm, a player's strength is determined not only by their equipment, but also by the quantity and quality of their skills. Feng Shi flipped through more than 10 pages in a row. When he got to the last page, he suddenly froze. He looked somewhat dazed at the skill book on the auction house. Is this a mistake? Are there really people selling such rare skill books? He directly purchased the heaven-defying sword that can withstand attacks, and also bought 3 ordinary skills. They are the Eye of Observation that can detect weaknesses and increases movement speed with a 50% chance of evasion, the Wind Step for range damage, and the AoE skill Split Slash. After buying the skill books, Fengshe suddenly heard little Gagas beside him. In order to raise money to buy the Defender's Plate for Guide, he sold his precious rare skill book. Guide smiled with satisfaction. As long as we buy those pieces of armor, Guide will be able to rise quickly. When Guide grows, you will be the vice president in the future. Fengshe couldn't help but secretly complain upon hearing this. It seems that all Guide leaders are the same, only knowing how to paint a rosy picture for their subordinates. But thanks a lot for selling skill books. With these few skills, his survivability and attack power have greatly improved. Just at this moment, Snowby suddenly initiates a video call, interrupting his thoughts. Just connected, Snowby immediately expressed that she needed help from him. Fengshe felt uneasy. To think that such a goddess-level figure actually needed his help. It's truly unbelievable. Snowby directly stated her purpose. She wanted to borrow 15 silver to purchase the Defender's Plate, because the attributes of this Defender's Plate are excellent. With this equipment, there shouldn't be any issue with the level 3 werewolf dungeon. All the guides are currently scrambling to get their hands on this equipment. Suddenly she stared at Fengshe and asked, "These Defender's Plates aren't made by you, are they?" Fengshe quickly denied. He didn't want to expose himself. Shortly after, he quickly said he would mail the silver later. Then he promptly hung up the call. Faced with Snowby's amazing sixth sense, Fengshe suddenly felt a sharp increase in pressure. The numerous guides at White River Castle have already attached great importance to the Defender's Plate. This indicates that its popularity has spread. Now, the Defender's Plate's popularity has probably reached its peak. It is the perfect time to make a large profit by selling a lot. It's a great opportunity to accumulate capital. In the auction house, little Gagas, who just gathered silver, excitedly shouted, "Guild leader, we've collected 13 silver. Now we can definitely buy 2 Defender's Plates." And the guild leader expressed anger, saying, "The silver came too late. The price for 1 piece has already skyrocketed to 9 silver. At the same time, Fengshe returned to the forge room once again. This time he directly rented it for 10 hours, preparing to make a big move. In a while, Defender's Plate won't be as valuable. I need to make money with this opportunity. In order to earn the startup capital for opening a studio, Fengshe entered a crazy forging mode. Although it takes a lot of time to forge an equipment, if the success rate is high, the leveling speed is much faster than normal player leveling. It's like hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. The thought of making a big profit immediately put him in a great mood. Fengshe's movements became much more brisk than before. The rhythm of the 100-fold hammer strikes, like playing a captivating melody. Even the shape of the material was deformed by his strikes. When Fengshe regained consciousness, he then knocked the material on the table into the air. He felt that this piece of material was probably going to be scrapped. However, just at this moment, the system prompt sounded. Forging unknown equipment successfully. Increased forging proficiency by 3 points. Gained 4,100 XP points. Unnamed. Bronze level plate. Equipment requires 12 strength. Item level 3. Defense power plus 23, strength plus 3, stamina plus 3, HP plus 120. Comes with the ability Restorative Power, which increases the effectiveness of healing received by 10%. Limited to the Shield Warrior profession. Protection Paladin. The man unexpectedly became immersed in forging to the point of falling into illusions. He, in a daze, actually hammered the shapes of the materials crooked. As a result, he unexpectedly created his own original equipment. Fengshe was delighted to see the attributes of the new equipment. In the realm, players can create equipment. However, this is a very difficult task. Not only do you need to be very familiar with forging techniques, but you also need to have in-depth knowledge of various materials in order to create a decent brand new equipment. Feng Shui saw the equipment emitting a faint light. He decided to name a gleaming chestplate, and then left a black flame mark in one corner of the equipment. This mark is equivalent to the name of the blacksmith. In the future, when others see this mark, they will know that this equipment was crafted by him. It also serves as an official anti-counterfeiting symbol. The system then prompted, naming successful. Automatically generate the design diagram for gleaming chestplate. Feng Shui was overjoyed. Now he can not only sell finished equipment, but also create and sell design diagrams for the gleaming chestplate. Countless blacksmith masters are tirelessly researching various materials and using different methods to create new equipment. Apart from striving to become forging grandmasters, their main goal is to create original design diagrams. This is the main reason why these blacksmith masters can make a lot of money, as creating design diagrams is relatively easy. They can produce dozens or even hundreds of them in minutes. Otherwise, by crafting equipment themselves every day, no matter how hard they work, they can only produce a limited amount. With the design diagram of the gleaming chestplate, earning dozens of gold is just a small matter. After all, there are a huge number of players in the White River Castle area, and many guides as well. Feng Shui couldn't help but feel that he is truly a lucky king. He never expected that such a rare event as creating original equipment would happen to him. Next, he started to craft the gleaming chestplate. The materials used for both are the same, but the gleaming chestplate is practical and handsome. Its accompanying abilities are also better. When the 10 hours of renting the forge room were up, Feng Shui's harvest of equipment was amazing. He successfully crafted a total of 142 pieces of equipment. The purchased materials were also running out quickly. He then left the Forge Association, ready to sell a wave of equipment. Then he planned to purchase another batch of raw materials. When Feng Shui arrived at the auction house, he found that the once very popular Defender's Plate was actually experiencing many unsold lots. No one was buying them at all. He also noticed that the logistics staff of various guides seemed to have decreased inexplicably. The auction house appeared much quieter as a result. Shortly after, Feng Shui walked up to a logistics player of guide and asked, "This brother, why is the auction house so deserted today? Where did everyone go?" The player explained in surprise, "You don't even know about this big event. There's a player called One Shot Deal who sold a lot of level 3 bronze plate equipment. Although the stats are a bit worse than that Defender's Plate, the price is super cheap, only 4 silver. He even mentioned that if you contact him for bulk orders, you can get a discount." All the guides naturally contacted him to place orders. He's so popular right now. Who would still wait here for a Defender's Plate? Upon hearing the name One Shot Deal, Feng Shui was somewhat surprised. In the previous life, One Shot Deal didn't emerge so quickly. It was One Shot Deal who discovered the hidden quest at the blacksmith shop initially. With the forging talent rewarded by the hidden quest, he quickly became the ultimate forging apprentice before joining Shadow Guide. In the end, Dominating the World acquired Shadow, and Blue Watt Enterprises agreed willingly. One Shot Deal, along with several master blacksmiths and a master alchemist, strongly supported the acquisition. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been fired in the first place. It has to be said that Dominating the World and One Shot Deal are destined rivals. Dominating the World snatched One Shot Deal's forging talent, and in return, One Shot Deal cut off his financial path. Feng Shui opened the forum of the Star Moon Kingdom, and quickly came across a pinned post. "Upholding justice starts with me. We must not allow the unscrupulous blacksmith Duan to do as he pleases." It was a lengthy condemnation article with well-founded arguments. It pointed out that the cost of a piece of bronze equipment is only 2 silver, but the starting bid for Duan's auctions is as high as 5 silver, which is truly outrageous. Therefore, the author decided to take a stand. Additionally, Duan endlessly sells level 3 bronze equipment, mentioning issues with success rates, so he only breaks even at 4 silver. Feng Shui was instantly furious after reading it. The entire article was tarnishing his reputation. It was clearly an attempt to undermine him and elevate the author's own status and fame, hoping to attract the attention of a major guide to offer opportunities for speculation. To Feng Shi, the condemnation article and data provided by one-shot deal seemed laughable. According to him, a junior blacksmith apprentice crafting a level 3 bronze equipment with the intermediate forge should, at best, only have a success rate of 20%. A price of 4 silver is so high that it's unaffordable even to buy the materials. One-shot deal is definitely selling at a loss to increase their popularity. If he weren't stepping on others to climb up, he wouldn't want to have anything to do with one-shot deal. However, since he has offended him, he should be prepared to pay a heavy price. After that, Feng Shi directly put up a partial sale of gleaming chestplate at a fixed price of 4 silver. He has Philosopher's Stone and Book of Forging, which only cost a few dozen copper. He has always been unbeatable in price wars. Immediately after, Feng Shi shouted in the auction house, "Everyone, come and see! A batch of gleaming chestplates has appeared in the auction house, with a price of only 4 silver. This immediately surprised the little gagass around. Following that, he started to praise it. Its streamlined design, stylish appearance, and a faint radiance emanating from it. There is also a black flame mark that appears intermittently on the left chest. Absolutely handsome. Immediately caught the attention of surrounding players. Such a handsome attribute is still a good equipment. It's only worth 4 silver, surprisingly. The garbage savage chestplate is so bad that even dogs shake their heads at it. There are some logistics personnel who directly call for help from the senior management of the guide. Don't waste time at the one-shot deal." Meanwhile, inside the Golds and Towns Forge Association, the entire spacious hall was crowded with players. The players present were all representatives of various guides. They came here with only one purpose: to invite one-shot deal to join their guide. However, at the moment, they all simultaneously received messages from the senior management of the guide. And on the second floor, in the intermediate section of the indoor building, a female voice suddenly rang out. "Brother One-Shot, you are so amazing! You really make people admire you to death. Before, I went to those third-rate guiding jobs to apply. They wouldn't hire me no matter what. Now I'm just waiting outside like nobody's business. I can't chase them away no matter how much I try. Why don't you just find the strongest guide directly and join them?" One-Shot Deal smirked and laughed heartily. "It's no big deal. It's all because there is a fool paving the way and keeping their identity hidden, letting all the major guides know of my importance. I really should thank them. In the future, when I make it into a top-tier guide and infiltrate the upper echelons, that will be truly awesome. Right now, I'm just getting started, letting those third-rate guides wait outside. It will also help boost my value and reputation." Suddenly, a berserker bursts in through the door, looking extremely anxious, and shouts, "Something big is happening! A lot of top-tier equipment has appeared in the auction house. Many guides have taken notice. Everyone is no longer paying attention to you, boss." One-Shot Deal suddenly stands up. His expression instantly becomes unsettled. It took him a lot of effort to catch the attention of top-tier guides. There's no way he's going to let them be taken away so easily. Take a look outside the door. He instantly petrified on the spot. The originally crowded hall was now deserted, becoming extremely empty. One-Shot Deal quickly inquired, "What happened exactly?" Little Gagass explained. A batch of gleaming chestplates suddenly appeared in the auction house, and they are only selling for 4 silver. Several top-notch guides have already expressed their interest, willing to hire that blacksmith with a high salary as the chief blacksmith of the guide. Those people from the guide also went to the auction house. The real-life One-Shot Deal is currently going crazy, throwing things around to vent his anger. What guts! How dare he steal my limelight? Don't blame me for not being polite. Such top-notch equipment must have extremely high costs, and the success rate is extremely low. You sell it for 4 silver, let's see how much you can lose." He finally managed to attract the attention of a top-notch guide. Now that anonymous blacksmith has stolen the limelight again. If he doesn't snatch back the limelight, those top-notch guides might forget about him. But he doesn't have enough silver. He can only purchase forging materials with credits. One-shot deal is like a gambler in a losing streak at the moment. He plans to use credits to purchase materials and take a gamble. As long as he can join a top-notch guide, he can quickly repay the credits he owes. And he can also become wealthy for life. After quickly dialing the phone, he promptly stated that he wants 10,000 credits of each material. Shortly after, he opened the forum again and quickly began writing a new post. A new post quickly appeared on the forum. In the interest of the majority of players, One-Shot Deal have decided to sell the Savage chestplate for the price of 3 silver. I must confront the corrupt smith to the end.